Hey team, Wade Wyant here with Wagon Advisors, and I want to tell you about the #1 sales mistake I see medium-sized businesses make. Now this is the #1 mistake I see in my experience working with over 100, maybe a couple hundred medium-sized businesses over the last few years. And I'm going to give you that mistake, but stay tuned because as soon as I'm done with that, I'm going to go into some pro tips I think you're going to want to hear. So here's the #1 mistake, and it's in Hyper Sales Growth by Jack Daly. 100% recommend his book. In fact, I would have had this mistake in my book, Wake Up Call, but Jack Daly wrote about it so eloquently, there's no reason to repeat what he said, so here I am telling you to go get his book and read it. And that #1 mistake is they don't practice. You heard that right. Sales teams don't practice. Now, if they do practice, they practice on clients or prospects, and that's the worst place you could practice because you're giving up an opportunity to actually sell them something by practicing on them. Now, why is this the #1 mistake? We do tons of sales training. You do not need more sales training. That's right, you heard it. You do not need more sales training. You need more sales practice. Now, what are the pro tips around this? The first thing is don't have your people practice on junk accounts. First off, they're learning the wrong things. A lot of companies, when they get a new salesperson, they'll hand them all the junk accounts and go, hey, go practice on these junk accounts because we couldn't make any progress with them. Maybe you can. Well, guess what? Junk accounts, they don't learn what it's really like to play the game or what it's really like to sell. They just learn what junk accounts are about. And by the way, they spend the first few weeks or months of their job getting really, really discouraged. Who would want that? Don't do that. Set up real world scenarios where they can practice with colleagues who've already learned. Practice. Second thing, pro tip. When you're practicing, as Jack Daly says in the book, have one person play the client and be real. Don't be too easy. Don't be too hard. Don't beat that poor salesperson up just because you want to get back for all the hard work you did. And have one other person observing. Usually the person observing learns more and can also point out things to both the customer in the situation and the salesperson practicing that they didn't see or hear. Iron sharpens iron. You've got to practice more. Now, what does Red Wagon do? We help clients with this all the time in different workshops. Notice I said workshops, not training, because you don't want to train more on sales. You want to workshop and practice more sales. Now, here's a pro tip that you can use. When you're talking to your salespeople about this and they balk at the idea of practicing, beforehand, run a little scenario. Play a game like bags or cornhole, or usually I'll get a couple cups and I'll have them play real quick. The ping pong balls, have them play where they try to get the ping pong ball into the cup and throw it from a distance. I always say you can practice this game, whatever game you pick, as many times as you want, but at some point you're going to have to make an actual toss that counts. And I'll say you don't have to practice, but in 5 minutes you're going to make an actual toss. I'm telling you, every single salesperson gets up there and practices and practices and practices. And then when you say, now it's time, you don't even have to have them make the real toss. You just say, did you notice what you did there? Now in sales, what do you do when you're about to make a call to a customer? Do you practice beforehand? Do you go to your colleague and script it out and then say it over and over again? And the answer is usually no. Now, here's the ultimate pro tip and what we do in our workshops. We get finance, accounting, HR, IT, operations, all in the room. We run the same exact exercise with sales in the room. And then we talk about the fact that it's everybody's job to help sales practice. And as soon as the rest of those organizations inside your company, operations, finance, marketing, HR, IT, as soon as they see the need for practice, they pitch right in. They play the part of the client, they help the sales team in different ways, and they make it possible for them to practice. This is a critical tool in your company. Now, if you'd like to practice with us, we'd be more than happy to do that at Red Wagon. So please contact us and we'll get you some practice or a workshop or coaching, or go talk to Jack Daly, but especially read his book, Hyper Sales Growth. Now, final thing, if you made it this far, I just want you to know, my mom told me the other day, she said, my mom this is, hey, I watch your videos, I think they're great. I hope other salespeople and business owners are watching them too. So there you go, my mom says I'm great. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day, and don't forget to practice. By the way, I practiced this video before I shot it.